afternoon. My name is Steve Collier. I'm the president of the Clinton County Music Educators Association. On behalf of CCMEA, I would like to extend our welcome and also our thanks for being here today. We are very grateful to you for supplying the students which we have worked with on a daily basis and that are represented here today. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of CCMEA to dedicate this concert in the memory of Lisa Smith. Lisa Smith was a hard-working music teacher from Chateaugay Central who was originally the general chairperson for this festival. She passed away approximately a month ago after a long battle with cancer. As you enjoy the music today, remember not only her dedication to CCMEA, but her dedication to the students from Chateaugay who are here today. We also will feel Lisa's presence here in another way. Lisa's husband, Steve, is also a music teacher from Chateaugay, and he is helping out with the wind ensemble today. He'll be playing a trombone part. So we will feel Lisa here with us today, and we wish to dedicate the concert to her. A couple of announcements. We have a lot of people here, and there still are seats available, and it would be greatly appreciated if there are a couple seats within the rows that are available. Could the rows push down to make one or two available in those rows so we can try to accommodate as many people as possible? The second announcement is, when the chorus comes on, they will be entering from the top of the auditorium down the stairs. So at the time when the chorus comes on, we will ask that you please make room for them so they can proceed down the aisle. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to introduce the chairperson for the concert band. His name is Mr. Nelson Bosworth from Northeastern Clinton. Thank you very much and enjoy the concert.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank Carl Boise for asking me to be the chairperson of the band. I enjoyed picking this group and listening to them rehearse this weekend. They are made up of students from grades 6 through 9. You see in front of you some of the finest musicians of their age group on the stage here, and it's been very enjoyable for me to watch their progress and listen to them as they work with their conductor. Our conductor is Mrs. Melinda Pupor from Franklin Academy. She is the coordinator of music at Franklin Academy and teaches middle school band there. At this time, then, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce the 1994 All-County Band and the director, Mrs. Melinda Pupor.
Our next piece is Connemara Sketches. As you can see, it's a 3-movement piece. So we're going to be playing it in its entirety, and then we invite you to applaud. In this piece, we're going to have some solo work. In the second movement, we're going to have a trumpet solo by Lisa Gravel from Plattsburgh, and a snare drum solo in the third movement by Brian Curry from Stafford Middle School. before we finish our part of the program, I have a lot of thank yous to make. First of all, to Nelson Bosworth, our chair for the band. He was wonderful. He kept all the details straight for me. He helped me out. He helped the band. He got everything organized, and I'm very grateful to him. I also had some undercover work going on here. I kind of roped in some of the music teachers, and they helped us out with a sectional on Friday, and I wanted to thank them publicly. Nelson Bosworth took the percussion and helped them. Dick Rabideau helped all the low brass and some of the low reeds. Bill Rook also helped us. He took the trumpets and French horns, and then I worked with some of the woodwinds, but that really helped. It gave the kids a break from me, too, for a little while. And then finally, I want to thank all you folks for having such talented children. They're a pleasure to work with. I work them hard. I'm sure you heard lots of horror stories when they came home last night about how tired they were. And they were exhausted, but they gave it their all, and I really appreciate that. And I hope that you are all grateful for the wonderful music teachers that you have in this county. They're doing a great job, and I know that you're giving them your support all the time. Thank you for this opportunity, and we'll close our portion with John Williams in concert.
there.
Beginning. I would like to thank the faculty, staff, the administration at Au Valley for hosting this event on very short notice, and in particular, Carl Boise for being the general chairperson. It's a great deal of work to put on a festival of this nature, and to take it on in such short notice requires someone who has some expertise in running these festivals, and Carl has done a wonderful job, and he deserves some recognition. So thank you very much, Carl. I would now like to introduce the chorus chairperson, Connie Slauson.
Welcome. We're very fortunate today to have a lady who is recognized by her peers as one of the outstanding teachers. She has had a profound influence on many people, students and teachers alike. Mrs. Margaret Minotti is a member of the Crane School of Music, a faculty member there at SUNY Potsdam, where she teaches courses and conducts choruses. In her public school teaching, she conducted choruses in the junior and senior high level. And at the Potsdam Campus Learning Center, she was responsible for the choruses there, as well as staging and musical direction of the chorus musical production. At the college level, Professor Minotti has taught choral practices, conducted several women's choruses at Crane School, and prepared choruses for opera productions. Currently, along with teaching, she conducts the St. Mary's Chorus and is preparing this children's chorus for the Crane opera production of the MHS Pinafore. She has been a professor and a friend to many of us Clinton County music teachers, and her expertise is sought by her colleagues. These students today are indeed honored to have her as their conductor. She's a very caring person with a high degree of musicianship and is a very patient individual. Mrs. Minotti has brought some new, innovative ideas to our all-county chorus this year. And you're going to be able to witness these ideas in action, beginning with the first number that the chorus has and including the Orff number. It's been a pleasure to work with her these last 2 days. And it's always a thrill to work with such talented and capable young people as we have in the chorus this year. We've had a really great time these last 2 days, and they've worked really hard. We also appreciate Mrs. Diane Saburn from the Peru Central School District, who agreed to be the rehearsal conductor for the Orff Ensemble. And we give a big thank you to Mrs. Seal Strebent from the Plattsburgh School District, who so capably is serving as our accompanist. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Margaret Minotti and the 1994 Winter Music Festival Chorus.
well, but they moved the instruments.
make it?
A music teacher from the City School District in Plattsburgh and a member of the Clinton County Music Educators Association. The wonderful sounds that you are hearing this afternoon are a direct result of the value that these young musicians and you place on being educated in music. Unfortunately, that priority is not shared by all. Our state and national professional music education associations work constantly to assure that music receives its proper place in the education of every child in New York State and the United States. Like other important aspects of school life, your child's accomplishments in music deserve and need recognition. Fortunately for all of us North Country parents, we have in our community a media group that, without being asked, and for as long as I can remember, has been telling people how important it is to have music in our schools. Their longtime support of music education has at times bordered on the evangelical. They have had an immeasurable positive impact on the education of many, many North Country youngsters over countless years. We will never know just how many youngsters' lives have been enriched because of this public support given for their pursuits in music. Gordy Little and Chet Bosworth, would you come to the stage, please? It is with this in mind that we would like to publicly recognize the support that Wyrie Radio has given to the students in Northern New York who value an education in music. After looking into many students' eyes while they told me about hearing their concert on Wyrie, I can say with conviction that Wyrie deserves a heartfelt thank you from all North Country parents and educators. I only feel sorry that we have waited so long to publicly recognize Wyrie's contribution to the quality of life in our community. At this time, Steve Collier, president of the Clinton County Music Educators Association, will make our presentation to Wyrie in recognition of their support for music in our schools. Education, and especially the arts and education, needs cheerleaders. You as parents, friends, administrators, teachers are important cheerleaders. We also, at the same time, would like to recognize WIRY as being very big cheerleaders because of the voice that they have in the community. On behalf of CCMEA, I would like to present this award of recognition to WIRY Radio. I'd like to read what the plaque says. Presented to WIRY Radio, Gordy Little, Program Director, Chet Bosworth, Bob Fuller, Fred Little, in recognition of their steadfast support for music education in Clinton County schools. Clinton County Music Educators Association, 1994. So it is with a great deal of respect that I present this award of recognition to WIRY Radio. Wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. We have one more group for you. At this time, I'd like to introduce the chairperson for the Wind Ensemble, Mrs. Linda McCara from Plattsburgh City School District.
Thank you, Steve. It gives me great pleasure to present to you today a first
We have never had a wind ensemble at this festival before. Now, some of you may be looking at the wind ensemble and saying, looks like a band to me. Well, it is. It is a band, except the wind ensemble is smaller. We have a very elite group of students from our county that are in grades 10 through 12. And the whole premise behind the wind ensemble is to have a smaller number of people per part, to have a little bit more of an intimate sound. So you see before you a band, but yet it's very much scaled down. It's much smaller than the band that you heard at the beginning of the program. The students have had a wonderful experience over the past 2 days working with Mr. Tim Kopalevsky. He is the wind ensemble conductor at the Crane School of Music, and they have benefited immensely from their experiences with him. They worked very hard, they worked intensely, and you're going to be able to enjoy the result of that hard work today. I'd like to present Mr. Tim Kopalevsky and the 1994 CCMEA Wind Ensemble.
ensemble, even though we could call it a diminutive band, can still make a lot of sound. And I think Ms. McCara certainly was correct in her definition of wind ensemble. We could say maybe a couple other things about it. One, I think that we all have in common is that we've all sung in a high school or church choir or college choir, and you've all been one of the soprano section or the tenor section or the baritone or the bass section. And we all feel good about that. How good would you feel if you were taken out just one or two on a part and had to do it? There's no place to hide. That's the other thing about this ensemble that makes it difficult, because if you aren't playing it, nobody's playing it. So each of these people are soloists. And I'm so proud of them, and you should be too, of what they've accomplished in this time, because this is very, very challenging. This is college-level music they're playing here. And they've really thrown themselves into it in this last few days, and you can see what we've accomplished. Wonderful group of people. The other definition about wind ensemble that I probably should put forward for those of you who play in orchestras or orchestra conductors or what have you, is that, except, and forgive me for the saxophone, except for the saxophones, what you have is the woodwind section and the brass wind section and the percussion section of an orchestra. If you went to the Montreal Symphony Orchestra and you took out all the strings, except for the saxes, this is what you'd have left. That's another definition of a wind ensemble. Orchestral wind section is another way. And there's some very, very important composers who have written for that medium. This opening piece we played is called Hounds of Spring, and it's a very, very exciting and difficult piece to play, and I'm really happy that you enjoyed it. We will not play for you Irish Tune from County Derry. We just ran out of time to prepare the music in a way that we wanted. So we'll move on then to the Prelude and Fugue in G minor by J.S. Bach. Here again, very exposed and some really wonderful colors. And it was originally an organ work, and we've all heard organs in church, and there is probably no ensemble that suits itself better for rewriting from organ to wind than the band or the wind ensemble, because all of the sounds that an organ can make are represented here. All the ranges are also here. So this is a very nice transcription of the Prelude Fugue in G minor, transcribed by Mailman for wind ensemble. you play a march, and we have one set up for you. But before we conclude our last number, I'd like to thank you for certainly supporting the arts. I think that in the 2 days that we've been here working, I can promise you that nothing but good has happened. Good has been said. With so much that we see in the news about the negative, it's important that we understand some of the good things that are happening, and this is one of the good things. I think that what you need to realize, at least when I try to define what difference it makes for music or art, I think that we all have to realize we all have emotions. Just as a poet can write something that we can all say, yeah, I can think about that, I'm sensitive to that. Have you tried to write a poem? I did once and it was terrible, but at least I tried. But the same thing about music. We can see the arts as the shadow of our emotions. We can read books and poetry and histories and whatnot and say, yes, I'm really sensitive to that and I can understand those things. Music has the same effect if we let it. It can reflect our emotions. It is the shadow of our emotions. And since we don't want to end in a G minor mode, we're going to change things and end in E flat major, and we're going to conclude with a very exciting march for you by J.J. Richards, the emblem of unity. And again, thank you for your kind support.
Hello everyone, this is Calvin Castine. It's George Washington's birthday, February 22nd, 1994. Foxy Gagden's about to introduce all the players in this semifinal game in Section 7 Class C competition featuring Osebo Valley and Northeastern Clinton Central School. Joining me way up here in the press box, this elaborate press box that we've got set up here, is Mr. Mike Fay.
Thank you, Calvin. Introducing the starting lineup for the Sable Patriots, number 14, Christy Coolidge. Number 15, Julie Douglas.
These are the non-starters.
22, Sarah Green. 23, Allison Malesko. And number 33, Jennifer Thwaite. And the rest of the lineup, number 3, Heather Moresco. Christy Thomas, number 10. Number 21, Susan Davey. Michelle Lasher, number 12. And number 20, Leanne Allen. Sable coached by John Zaran. And for the Cougars, the Lady Cougars from Northeastern Clinton Central School, Carrie Bordeaux, number 30. And Jessica Blaine, number 14. Jen LaFleur, number 54. Sarah Bayshard, number 10. Jeanette Fay, number 13. Jill Gadway, number 11. This is the starting lineup for the Cougars. 21, Tara Marlowe. Shayna Blaine, number 23. Nicola Fountain, number 44. And number 50, Sarah Bushy. Cougars are coached by Don Sears, assisted by Jim Gagno, Brian Power, and Pam Bulris. Scorekeeper for the Cougars, Stephanie Sample. Referees for tonight's game, Mike Lopez and Bruce Shiflett. Junior at Plattsburgh High School. And a beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner by, I didn't hear her name, but a junior at Plattsburgh High School.
There she goes, wherever she is.
Beautiful voice. And these teams have faced off once before this year. Cougars winning that game by a score of 50-44. But I've been told that the Osable Patriots led they started off with an 10 to 8 lead in the first period or something like that, and they led throughout the entire game into the fourth quarter. And that's when the Cougars took the lead and kept it for the victory.
About 3 minutes to go in the game, the Cougars crept ahead and hung on for that 6-point victory.
AuSable, the Division II champions for the CVAC, and they win the tip-off, and that's Allen controlling with Gadway defending.
AuSable's a team that neither Saranac nor Northeastern wanted to face.
Rebounded by Bushy, outlet to Gadway. Nice pass over for Blaine. She's open. Can't make it work. And rebounded by Allen. Allen brings it down. Running the same play. Thomas back to Moresco. Over for Allen. Allen. And foul is called. And Tara Marlowe with her first personal foul. And the first team foul. Cougar fans are saying there was a travel prior to the foul. Allen with the ball, back to Moresco.
If the Cougar fans say there was a travel, Mike, there must have been a travel.
Must have been a travel. Allen, pick is set. Allen loses it off on foot, out of bounds. And the Cougars will get it back early in this first period.
Among the spectators over here, we see Larry, Russell, Ron, and Mike Gadway. And we asked Mike and said there's a lot more at home, too.
Long pass down for Blaine. She has LaFountain underneath. Couldn't control it. Out to Bushy. Pass intended for LaFountain. Broken up. The Cougars get it back. Bushy back to Marlowe. 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Plenty of time into Bushy. Nice pass for Blaine underneath, and she misses the layup up. Rebounded by LaFountain. Up and in. Nicole LaFountain in the right place at the right time. Offensive board stolen by Gadway. Little pass intended for Marlowe, knocked out of bounds by Moresco, and the Cougars will keep it. Nice rebound by LaFountain, and 2 points. Cougars 2, AuSable nothing.
Mike, Heather Moresco's a little water bug out there, and she'll play the whole game too and be just as fresh at the end as she is at the start. With her and Leanne Allen, they just run all night, and they don't seem to slow down.
That last rebound by Susan Davey, I think. Yeah, Davey. Shot, misses everything. Cougars rebound, Gadway all alone with the layup, and it's good. Jill Gadway with her first 2 points of the game. Cougars 4, AuSable nothing. Thomas, long pass down for Allen. And Allen will slow it down. Thomas, Moresco back at the top of the key. Back to Allen. Allen dribbles through, blocked by Bushy, out of bounds. The Patriots will keep it. Jen LaFleur into the game to replace Shayna Blaine. Inbound to Thomas. Moresco. Long pass across for Allen. Allen back to Moresco. Just inside three-point line. Rebounded. Out of bounds off LaFleur. And the Patriots will get it back. 5:39 remaining in this first period. 4-0 Cougars. Moresco drives baseline, no place to go.